Garden State Film Festival. I have Jord van Beck and Zanita Camo with the film Yearmates. How are you both doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Good.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
doing well. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for jumping on with me. So, Jord, Zanita, would you like to talk a bit about your film to our live viewers?
Yeah, of course. So years ago, so I'm the director and screenwriter of the movie. Years ago, I started out on a completely different project. It was supposed to be a TV series, and I wanted to sort of make the Twin Peaks of the Netherlands in a students' association in college. But I got sort of stuck on the characters, and I decided to try to get to know them better by making a short movie about three of them, and then it went on to lead a life completely of its own. So yeah, as you will see in the movie, it has nothing to do with surrealism or anything. So yeah, that's basically how the film came to be.
And Zanita, you produced this film?
Yes, I was working on another film at the time, and actually, where Sjoerd's sister was a part of, and she connected us, and I read Sjoerd's script, which indeed was completely different than what it ended up to be. But what I really liked is that he had this put an emphasis on the acting. It's a small story where a lot of things happen, and it's about human relations. And I thought Sjoerd's a really interesting new director and writer I'd like to work with. So that's how our collaboration started. Amidst COVID, I must say, it was just before COVID hit, so there was some trouble actually getting to the part of the shooting. It took us a longer time than we intended, but eventually we did shoot everything within a year.
So, when exactly, you're saying that you started filming right prior to COVID?
No, so we originally planned to shoot in April 2021, because then finally, measure-wise, we could do it. But then we had everything planned, and then we had a very important hiccup, which was that we want to shoot in nature, but we didn't get permission at the last minute, because it's breeding season of the birds in the Netherlands, and that means that it's very difficult to shoot in a nature in parks or other parts. So then we had to postpone to September 2021. So that's when we finally were able to shoot the movie. Yeah.
Okay. And so with COVID, I mean, what is it? You're saying that you had restrictions that postponed filming because of COVID. So while you were filming, did you have any run-in, obstacles that you had to go through, like hoops you had to jump through with COVID?
Well, we did have to take it into account. So it was like, because it was quite early during the COVID season. So it was like, all right, so how do we make sure that we're all safe on set? What are the regulations? We had to work with a COVID, a safety person on set. You have to find someone like that. And, everyone has different differences in how they think about it. So it was, you're getting everyone in the same line and getting everyone together and just trying to keep each other safe. And it's also because what Sjoerd just said, it was also, I found it a little bit scary because we already had to postpone because of the breeding season thing. What if our cameraman would just fall out because of COVID? What if one of the important people would just end up sick? So it was a big risk. You never knew if we were actually going to shoot at the time. So I'm happy that everything just turned out really, really fine. And we were outside. It was beautiful weather. And eventually it was just perfect. I mean, sometimes when things get postponed, it's maybe for the better. And I think in this case, it was for the better.
Absolutely. So, you said that the two of you came together because you both had a mutual acquaintance.
Yes. So my sister worked with Zanita, and and she said that's because I was looking for a producer for my movie, and my sister said that maybe Janita would be the right person. So that's how
And
we met up at the International Film Festival Rotterdam. We met up, and well, we immediately had a good click. We clicked with each other. So yeah.
and how
Yeah.
long ago was it that the two of you came together?
So yeah, so that would be February 2020. So just
Oh
before
wow.
just
Okay.
before the COVID-19 really hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah, we
was
spoke to each other in December 2019. I remember I was on vacation, and when I got a message from Sjoerd's sister, and it was our
Yeah.
first contact, and then we met up
Yeah.
in person and
Yeah.
during the
Yeah.
festival.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
just starting working together from that point on.
Yeah.
and so is this your first work together then as a team?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on getting into the Garden State with your first work
Yeah.
together.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I would love to know how, like maybe some of the background of both of your experience in this field.
Okay. Yeah. So my background isn't in film at all. I'm an economist by training, but yeah, I always loved to write, and I briefly pursued a PhD in economics, and during that time, I really discovered that I really just wanted to create things. So I started to write more. In the beginning, mainly short stories, but I also already worked on a small film project with other people, but as a production designer, so not as a writer or director. And then I decided to keep myself writing. I started to I became a film critic. So I'm still a film journalist as well. So I still regularly publish film reviews for several outlets in the Netherlands. But then, a few years ago, it really started to. I really started to feel like I really want to make movies myself. It played up again. So that's why I first started working on that television series, which then became this short film. And I also recently finished another short film together with Janita as well. So yeah, that's basically my sort of story.
So would you say you're an economist by day and a filmmaker by night?
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, would you say you're an economist by day and a filmmaker by night, or is filmmaking taken over completely?
Well, yeah. So my main passion now is writing, so filmmaking, but also still film criticism and also writing short stories. So that's my passion. Of course, I have a day job because this doesn't pay the bills. Yeah.
But you said that you have another work that the two of you have put together that you've either
Yes.
finished or working on. It's fantastic. Can you give us a little sprinkle of information about it? I'd love to know.
Yeah, of course. So it's quite a different work from Yearmates. With Yearmates, is more sort of a drama comedy type of film. And this new one is called The Trip Sitter, and it's a psychological drama. And it's about a young woman who gets into a bad trip on psilocybin mushrooms, and then starts to sort of question the influence of her guru on her on her thinking.
Oh,
So
that sounds cool. I love the sound of that. So, Sunita, I'd love to know about your background as a producer and how long you've been doing it for.
I just like Sjoerd, I did not study film. I thought about it and I decided like I'm not gonna be able to make a living in it. And so I chose communication and media production. And I said to myself, if film is meant to be, it will find me. And actually, it happened. So I ended up my first job was in a communication bureau. We actually produced commercials and films and on the commercial side. And by night and by weekends, me and my colleagues were making our own work. So that's why when I started producing, and I also started, was 14 years ago. And I started as a freelance producer, and I have been developing my little company all those years. And I also, except for producing, also write and direct films, mostly shorts. But now I'm busy with my first feature. So threading into different new areas. Really,
That's
it's really cool.
That's awesome. So you also direct and write, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Would you say that you have a preference, whether it be directing and writing or producing?
Not exactly. I think what I like is the combination because I love to produce films especially by filmmakers like Stuart, who really has his own vision. I think he's really interesting, and then people with important stories or with experimental people want to experiment or really. I mean, Stuart's last film, I think, it goes really deep. Really takes you in the trip. Really makes you think about, hey, how do I think about things? And so I like the combination. Sometimes, I mean, some people hate the administrative part, the organizational part of producing. I really enjoy it, but I also enjoy those moments when I can just, close myself in my room and just take a day or two and only write. So that's my creative side. It has to get out sometimes.
I mean, it sounds like the two of you are a great matchup that you both love directing and writing. And I mean, now you've come with this great work. You're saying you got a second work that sounds pretty trippy. So that's so cool. So what is it that you want your audience to take from Yearmates?
Yeah, so for me, the most important thing is that the movie is about friendship. So we start off with three girls that don't really know each other that well yet, and they also don't really like each other at the beginning. But I wanted to show that first of all, that even when the times are tough, that good things can come out of it. So, and yeah, they are in their hazing period and things aren't going that well for them. But so yeah, they through those moments of strife, they sort of find each other. So that's the first thing I wanted to tell with the movie. And the second thing is also that yeah, friendship isn't maybe always happy, and yeah, you should also be able to experience the tough times together and come out stronger in the end. So yeah, that's the takeaway of Yearmates for me.
That's lovely. Zenita, what would you say the film means for you? What's your take on it?
The same. I love because it's about people. It's about the connection and the exploration of how people connect, and that it's not always perfect. That's what I really liked. I liked technically I liked the play, and we had these three terrific actresses who were. I was just amazed by how well prepared they came and how well they connected, and they breathed their own life into the characters, and I really believed them on set. That this whole it's an interesting dynamic that they have within the story, and that's exactly what I like. The exploration of that dynamic of a beginning friendship that encounters quite a bit of a problem in the beginning and how they deal with it.
I mean, I think that friendship is, something that is very powerful and important in everyone's lives. So this is something that, I think I connect with, and I think that everybody will connect with as well. So Jordan, Anita, you both have been in this industry for how long?
Well, I would say, well, counted from Yearmates, it would be like 3 years or a bit more. Yeah.
But I mean, it's directing and writing. How long have you been directing and writing? Like all together, like not just like as as a director, writer, and as a producer. How long have you guys been in the industry?
I've been in there for 14 years, and together with Short since Yearmates for 3 years now, I guess.
Yeah.
So would the two of you say that, you have any advice to give any, director writers that are just starting out? Because we have a student section where high schoolers and college students will submit, and I'm sure they would love any advice you have to give.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm also still a starting filmmaker with only 2 movies on my belt, but I would say just try to make movies. Just even if you just have a cheap camera or just an iPhone, just try to make something, and yeah, come together with friends, and yeah, just make stuff and just keep busy. I would say that's I would do that. It would do that if it were in.
And Anita?
Yeah, I'd actually agree. I think the most important part is just to do it, and try to connect to. Maybe you'll be sometimes. I notice young people don't dare to go to a more experienced person or say, hey, "Can I be in your film? Or can I be an assistant? Can I watch? Can I just help on set?" And I'd say, do it. Try connect to people. You'd be surprised how willing the most professionals are to let you into their world and to let you, because that's the best way to learn. To just to be on set, to be on film, to see how it all works, because it is a specific way of working and way of creating, and it's I love it because it's always a team effort. But just try and do it on your own together with others, and don't be scared to go to more professional people and say, hey, can I just join you and learn from you?
Well, Jordan, Zanita, I so appreciate you taking this time with me today. And I know you are not able to make it to the film festival,
No,
unfortunately.
unfortunately not.
Well,
Fortunately, no.
it was such a pleasure to put faces to the names and to get to speak with you today. I
Yeah.
so appreciate it, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, a wonderful rest of your weekend. I know almost the evening there. You guys come and see the film Yearmates screening at the Berkeley Continental on Saturday, March 25th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. George, and again, you have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you so much for taking this time.
Yeah, you're
Thank you for
welcome.
having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us, indeed.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.